I don't know, but I definitely noticed that when y'all see me with no shirt on, my views go up, baby. What? So we doing every video. We doing every video like this now. Moving forward, every video like this. But anyways, it's nice to see everybody. Today we are talking about dysfunctional families, traumatic households, growing up in abusive households. That's not talked about enough. I personally think it's not talked about enough. I think, especially in the black community, in our community as black people, I love my black people, baby. I love us, the best group of people. But we got a lot of growing to do. We got a lot of evolving to do. We got a lot of learning that we have to do and unlearning. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love my people, and I'm going to start off by saying this. Like, as far as my family goes, I love my family. Like, I feel like I'm in a place where I'm very much so at peace, very grateful for the experiences that I've had with them, all the good and the bad, you know what I'm saying? Because it made me into such a fire dude, baby. You see this? Like, do you see this, bro? Like, I mean, shit, like, But anyways, um, yeah, I just want to say for the black community in general, like, we were enslaved, y'all, like for hundreds, thousands of years. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, with that being in my mind, like, you can't really get mad at us, even though you can, hold a lot of people accountable. But we were enslaved for so long. Like, there's a lot of just trauma. There's a lot of things that are missing up here. You know what I'm saying? For a lot of us, and it's okay. It's okay because we're slowly learning. We're getting better. We're in a new generation, baby, Gen Z. You know what I'm saying? We don't play none of that for real. You know what I'm saying? We are definitely in a time where we are learning the most that we've learned ever, as quickly as, you know what I'm saying? Trauma isn't something that's being swept under the rug like it used to. You know what I'm saying? Those other generations. I always talk about the other generations because I'm not going to let y'all slide for letting R. Kelly, you know what I'm saying, do all of that. Like, those generations, they let a lot of shit slide, like they let a lot of chaotic, traumatic things slide for the sake of keeping quiet, for the sake of peace. We are living in a time where, baby, that's no longer where we are at. We want justice. We want the truth. You know what I'm saying? We want better. We just want better. Like, just across the board, baby, in politics, baby, in our families and life, baby, we want better for ourselves as black people. But yes, so we're talking about dysfunctional families. I grew up in a family of seven. I have seven siblings. The only gay one, the only one. Yeah. So I think that alone tells you enough of my experience, baby. It was a lot. You know what I'm saying? I do love my siblings. I love my family, but they didn't have the tools. They didn't have the mindset. They didn't have the perspective. You know what I'm saying? That I needed for my growth. Which is why, you know what I'm saying? I don't blame them. But I'm sharing my experience so, others can learn. So yeah. I was always busy. I kept myself busy when I was growing up. I always was in a sport. I always was in a club. I always was just out the house. You know what I'm saying? Because every time I was in the house, mom, dad, both of them, or that relationship, baby, alone was toxic. You know what I'm saying? And we seen it up close and personal. We seen the abuse that she endured from him. You know what I'm saying? He had a history of being, in the streets and whatnot, and that comes with a lot of baggage as well. So, yeah, the abusive parents relationship, that was a lot. Me also, like I said, I was the only gay one, so I couldn't find ways to express myself the way that I wanted to. So I was very much so a people pleaser. I very much so was goody two shoes. You know what I'm saying? I was very much so about my business. Like, baby, I'm going to college and I'm gonna figure out my life, baby. Y'all could figure this out. You know what I'm saying? So I was very much so, like I said, always busy, always in school, always doing something. I ran track, ran cross country. I was a mascot. Like I was club leader of the fucking three clubs. Like baby, I was busy. I was trying to keep myself busy, and that was my way of coping with the environment that I was living in, you know? And I think that, all of those experiences were good because they exposed me to different perspectives. They got me to the place that I am now, you know what I'm saying? Where I have so much knowledge and so much, you know, empathy. You know, I understand a lot, you know, I understand people. You know, I understand people better, you know? Anyways, so yes, that is how it was growing up. My parent, like I said, my parents, they were in a toxic relationship, so they weren't watching us. That's just what it is. Like, let's just call it what it is. They weren't watching us. Like, I have seven siblings. That's a lot of kids to be watching. So a lot could get looked over. A lot could get looked over. A lot could get pushed to the side. A lot, like I said, my parents, they are a part of that same generation. Like, of R. Kelly, sweep under the rug and keep it pushing type of people, baby. They were like that. So they didn't acknowledge, it was not a lot of growth. It wasn't a lot of learning. It wasn't a lot of exposure. It wasn't a lot of understanding for us siblings. So guess what? Guess what we did? Guess what we did, baby? All of us. And they can quote me on this, baby. We all had to figure it out ourselves. And that is dangerous. Like that alone is dangerous. The fact that we got to figure it out by ourselves is crazy. What? What you mean? That opens up another set of problems for us that we are unaware of because we're learning. We're trying to figure out life. We're trying to, you know, figure out our sexuality, figure out, like, explore these things just in an environment where everybody's out for themselves. I mean, even though, like, living with seven siblings, I always was thinking about other people all the time because it was like by default, like there's other people in the house, like you got to drive with, like, I mean, they're siblings, you know what I'm saying? So you got to think about them. But it's like, as far as those individual passions, individual interest, you know what I'm saying? We didn't have a safe space to go to and explore. So, baby, I'm calling my siblings out, baby. The sisters sneaking dudes out, sneaking dudes in the house. Like, it was a lot because, like I said, we were trying to explore and learn ourselves and experiment. So, baby, we can't get mad at none of us because we're our kids, baby. I blame the parents, baby. I blame y'all. But, like I said, we're at peace. We're at peace. We're at peace. But yeah, how did I cope? Yeah, I always kept busy. When I left the house, that's when I realized the house was a problem. You know, when you're living in those environments, living in those toxic households, those abusive households, when you're in it, it's so hard to see anything past being in it. You know what I'm saying? So I always thought before I was 18, I was, yes, a people pleaser. Yes, I obeyed. Yes, I was obedient. Yes, I, stayed to myself and did what I needed to do. But even through me doing all of that, I still even though in the back of my mind, like I knew that I was doing all of this to put myself in a position to leave. And in the forefront of my mind, I'm like, I love my family. Like, these people are my people. Like, I couldn't imagine, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't imagine disconnecting with any of them. I love every single one of them. And I still love you guys. Like, if y'all are watching this, Jewel, I know you're watching it, but I still love you guys. But I didn't see it as a problem when you're in it. You know what I'm saying? So then I got out of it and I started to look back. Like, that's when when I moved out and went to school and I looked back at my siblings, you know what I'm saying? And seeing how they're tripping up, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I was trying to explore, but I explored and I was very fortunate I was very fortunate to put myself around people who had interest in school, who had interest in running, who had interest in, these different hobbies, so I could tap into those interests as well. My siblings, they didn't have that same thought process. They didn't have that same support. You know what I'm saying? They didn't like school. Like they didn't even like school. So like seeing how they navigated learning and the trip ups that they have or the trip ups that they had, it was very saddening to me, being the older brother, and looking back at my younger siblings who I want to see them do amazing. But given the circumstance, like you can't, like they got to learn, you know what I'm saying? So you really can't get mad at them. You can't get mad at the parents, baby, because at this point, they think the way that they think they're going to operate the way that they are going to operate. They're at the age where they don't think nothing that they did is wrong. You know what I'm saying? And y'all know what I'm saying. But yeah, so I learned to accept it, allow my siblings to have space to learn in the ways that they would like to learn, provide advice when it's asked. I don't even like giving my unsolicited advice anymore with them because yeah, we all on different journeys, and that's all okay. But yeah, like learn growing up in that household, it was just a lot. And I would like to just say that to anybody who's out there who's living it, who feels like they are in a toxic abusive household, maybe it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Focus on what you need to focus on. Set yourself up for the future. you know if you feel uncomfortable in any way, use that energy. Like that's energy. Like being uncomfortable in a house, like that was so much energy that I unpacked, that I put into myself to get me out of that and put me in a better situation. Now, baby, I'm at peace. Y'all see this? You see that room right there? Nobody in it. I like that. I'm at peace. You know what I'm saying? But I had to have those experiences, I feel like, yeah, to enjoy it properly. Now I love the silence. I love quiet. I love being by myself. I love it. And I feel like I don't know if it would be, I don't know if I would be able to experience it the way that I'm experiencing it today if I didn't go through all of those experiences. So I do definitely believe that those, like, that's why I said I made peace. I made peace with, those experiences because baby, I'm happier than ever today. But I would like to share that knowledge and share this video with people who are in those, who feel like they can't see the light, because a lot of times, baby, a lot of us, it take a long time to see the light. And I always say this, but we as black people, we need to learn to just be more open and accepting with not only sexuality, not just sexuality, but just overall differences, you know? Just overall differences. And also talking about mentioning, I would also like to mention like the on the topic of me being me growing up in the household. I was also a very feminine kid. I definitely I like to wear wigs and dress around in dresses and high socks. Like, baby, I was lit. I was having fun. I thought I was having fun. And to this day, I was still having fun, baby. I still stand by that, baby. I was having so much fun. Dressing up, wearing the shirt on top of my head, you know what I'm saying? Acting like I had hair. That's okay. That's okay. You know what I'm saying? That it's so traumatic when you are a child and you are enjoying yourself and you're having a good time and you look at it as pure fun, and your parents they whoop you like, Jesus, fuck. Can I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I also didn't like I also didn't like how when I when my family found out or assumed that I was gay, they went through my phone, baby. Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. Y'all, I'm healed, but these are just little things in my childhood that I just, yeah, don't ever do that. If you ever catch your child, and this is for all my parents out there, if you ever catch your child doing something that they're not supposed to do on their phone, yes, I get that you want to protect them. I get that you want to be that support for them and save them. You know what I'm saying? I get that. But how about you ask them first and then go from there? Because even though they're a child, even though you pay that phone bill, they are still their own individual human who have their own autonomy, baby. What? Don't be busting through people's doors and shit. Like, that is annoying, bro. That's crazy. But anyways, I don't talk to my family as much as I used to. Um, I definitely decided to keep a space, keep a safe distance from them because, like I said, we are on different journeys. I learned a lot of things. They are still learning. I'm still learning. We are still learning. So we are all on our separate learning journeys. But yeah, I think as black people, we gotta learn to post leaving the house. I like I said, I had a lot of tendencies that I needed to unlearn. Like, I had a lot of behaviors about myself, a lot of thought processes, a lot of mindset structures, structural mindset, the way that I looked at the world. It just needed to change altogether because I just looked at them being on a different frequency, and that's okay. And that's honestly okay. It's okay to not agree. Like, both two things, like, that is one thing that I learned, or that I am learning every single day, honestly, is that two things can be true at the same time. And that's okay. And that's okay. Nothing is wrong with that. I also would like to get into the Bible. Like, I feel like the Bible has a lot of our black community in a chokehold. But honestly, like I said, we were enslaved for hundreds of and thousands of years. We were enslaved for a long time. Thousands of years. Not thousands, but hundreds of years. Hundreds of years. But yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Like, that's a lot. Um, and that's a lot of trauma to unlearn. It's a lot that we are, it's a lot of, like, even though it's 2025, baby, we still got long ways to go. And that's honestly okay. Nothing is really wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with that. I think it makes sense. Um, so yeah, that's why I say I don't blame my people. I don't blame the structures. I blame the conditions that they were brought into, you know. But for how long? That's the thing. That's then the question. Like, for how long are we gonna ignore these discussions, push these conversations under the rug? How long are we gonna keep living like this? Cause I can't. Y'all can. I can't. You know? Living in a world where little black boys can't be happy and love themselves and also love feminine things. Like, what? We gotta do better. We gotta do better. We gotta live, like, living in a society where you show emotion and you're weak as a man. Like, we gotta do better. It's so much that we got to do better on, and I feel like we will get there. We will get there. We definitely will get there. I don't know when, and honestly, I'm not waiting on it. Y'all do y'all. I'ma do me. Okay, y'all do y'all. I'ma do me. Okay, but yeah, I think it's a great conversation to have, and I think we should have more of these conversations. Thank you guys. I'll see y'all later.